Hi there, this is Jen, and thanks so much for joining me today. Today I am creating a card using the beautiful Hedgehog Hollow box for the month of July. This box has sold out. However, if you do not want to miss out on future boxes, you can sign up for a subscription. There is no commitment. You can cancel anytime you want, but this is an absolutely fantastic box. I think I say that every time, and every time I truly mean it. They are just some really awesome kits that are put together. So one of the things you get in the kit is this baggie full of different sentiments, and so you get the printed portion, and then you also get the toner portion. So both of these can be foiled. Basically what you do is you foil the sentiment portion, and then you use that negative piece of foil to foil onto the matching kind of toner cutout piece. You also get this beautiful 6x8 stamp set, and then there are several stencils in the box this month, and this is the first one. This is the Hummingbird, and I'm going to go ahead and use that and that stamp set for today's card. But you also get this Dragonfly stencil, and so this is more of kind of a fun dragonfly, and then you get the the heart stencil. So it's got the heart. You get the negative piece as well, so it's, part of it's the heart, the other part is the butterflies. Then you also get this 4x6 stamp set. So you've got the dandelion, and then you've got, is that a dandelion? Oh my gosh, I don't even know. And then you get a bunch of sentiments, and then you also get this amazing paper pack. These papers are beautiful, and probably on my next project I am going to try and use up all of these papers to make as many cards as I can. So this paper is 8 1/4 by 5. It is perfect. You get 2 cards out of 1 piece of paper, and I believe there are 12 double-sided sheets in each pack. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I have done this technique before, and I absolutely love it, and so I thought I'd go ahead and do that for this beautiful stamp. I did cut my card stock down to 5x7, and I am using this Strathmore mixed media black paper. I am going to be doing some alcohol ink coloring on it, and so I went ahead and I put the cardstock in my MISTI, and I have that little Sizzix sticky mat in there to keep that down, so I don't need to worry about magnets interfering with my stamp. And then I'm going to set the stamp over the cardstock, and I'm going to take my anti-static bag and apply that pretty liberally over the cardstock. Just because it is a large stamp, I didn't want any extra little spots that would attract that embossing powder. And so I'm going to start out with inking this up with the Color Hive clear ink. This is an embossing ink. I did stamp it several times just to make sure I got a really good impression. And then once I have done that, I'm going to go ahead and grab a scratched piece of paper and some white embossing powder, and I will white emboss that image. Doesn't it look just beautiful just like that on the black? I just think it looks fabulous. But I'm doing this technique today with the mixed media paper and the embossed image with alcohol inks. I have a bunch of the cards that I've made hanging in my craft room, and I often will look to them for a technique that I've done before or something I like, and I saw this card that I had made previously using this technique, and I absolutely loved it, and so I thought it would be perfect for this stamp. So I'm going to go ahead, and I have heat set that embossing powder, and I am using some Marabu alcohol inks today, and so I'm just going to start out with magenta and purple, and I have my little bowl of isopropyl alcohol 91% because I don't have any blending solution left. I'm just taking a pipette and kind of moving that color around with a pipette. You can also add the alcohol or the isopropyl alcohol first and then add the alcohol ink on top of that, which actually works a little bit better and it moves around a little bit better. But this is cardstock, so it's not going to move. The alcohol ink is not going to move around as easily as it would if it was on like a craft plastic or a UPO paper. So I'm going to go ahead and keep adding colors. I'm not really paying attention too much. I do want my flowers to be color and my leaves to be green, but I'm not really too concerned about getting any of this perfect. I'm just adding color as I feel like it needs it. I really love this yellow color. This is a lemon, and it just really pops against that black and that white background. I really love how that looks. And then I'm going to take the color Agave and add that more to the areas of the leaves. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue this until I get the colors that I want and the background that I want. And then I ended up grabbing my can of canned air, and I have lost the little plastic kind of nozzle thing that you put in the can, so I'm basically just using it without that. I'm just giving it like really short bursts of air to kind of move that color around a little bit better than I can do with the baby aspirator. And then I'm going to add a whole lot of splatter. So I add several different colors with splatter. The first one I am using is a metallic gold. So I just put a little bit on my mat, and then I added a little bit of the isopropyl alcohol, and then I'll take a brush and splatter that all over the panel. And some of the areas are still a little bit wet, so it does kind of bleed out a little bit still instead of remaining kind of like a splatter would. But I'm going to take that and go over the card. And then I'm also going to take this color called Rainbow. It looks different on black, so I don't know if you can tell, but I'm just splattering it using the container, and it's showing up as like a blue. It's just really a stunning, magical alcohol ink. It's basically like a glitter ink. So like I said, it turns out a little bit different on black cardstock than it does on white, but it's really pretty. And then I'm also going to take some white alcohol ink and water that down, or not water it down, but add a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, and again take my brush and splatter that white all over the card because I love splatter. I just think it's a beautiful and amazing. So I went ahead and I set that aside so that it could dry a little bit, and then I'm going to take the Hummingbird Stencil, and I'm using these little tools that actually Carrie, who is on the design team, used these in one of her videos, and they're so perfect for getting into small areas of the stencil, and so that is what I'm going to be using to blend the colors onto this hummingbird. And so I'm using a bunch of greens using the Color Hive inks from Maker Forte. I'm using Tartan Teal, Palm Tree, Lime Wired, Pop Art, and then I add a little bit of purple with the Sugar Plum. But I'll go ahead and continue to color this with these cool little tools. I'll see if I can find those and list them if you're interested. But they make it so super easy, and this is the first time I'm using them. I think I've had them for probably about a month or so, and this is the first opportunity I've had to use them, and I really like them. They're really super helpful, and like I said, for these small areas of the stencil, they work fantastic. And the last color I added there was Sugar Plum in the Color Hive ink, and then did the color the kind of the white space on the middle of the hummingbird. I just went ahead and I grabbed that negative stencil, and I'm adding really lightly, I believe it's the Tartan Teal or the Pop Art in there, just to make sure that that wasn't white. And then I took my scissors, and I also used a craft knife to go ahead and cut that out. And I added a little bit of foam to the back of the hummingbird, and I'm also going to add some foam to one of those sentiments that came in the box as well. And then to add a little bit of bling, I'm going to go ahead and use the Maker Forte Crown Jewels in, I believe it's Black Eclipse, and I think the other one is called Shooting Star. I don't know if I got those names right, but I will list them below in the description. And that's going to finish off this card. Super fun, awesome box. I love this technique, and I hope you enjoyed it too. If you did like this video or find it informative, please go ahead and give a thumbs up. Don't forget, there's also a blog post over on the Hedgehog Hollow blog that gives written instructions on this card. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you next time.